Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about cool season annuals. So these are annual flowers. And a reminder, annuals are something that you're going to plant every year. Perennials are something that are going to come back every year. So cool season annuals, we're going to plant these every year. These are annuals that are going to perform actually better in the cooler temperatures. So as we're diving into early spring, that March, April, and even into early May timeframe, these are flowers that, even though they don't want to go necessarily below freezing, they can go down into the 30s and they can still perform really well, even if they get a light frost or near freezing temperatures. Now, some of the cool season annuals are a little bit more resilient towards actual freezing temperatures or a frost, where others are definitely going to get set back. Things like pansies. Everybody knows pansies and violas. They're absolutely the toughest. I mean, there's a lot of years that I've planted pansies and violas in the fall in my landscape. They look gorgeous, and they're actually growing and blooming all winter long on a mild winter. Now, like this year, it's been a little bit colder this winter and a little bit drier. So some of them have died, but I still have pansies blooming in my landscape right now from last fall that I planted. And so pansies are your absolute toughest flower you can plant outside right now. Another fun fact about pansies is the flowers are edible. So if you're somebody that loves hosting and you want to have a flower in your landscape that you can, put on Easter dessert like a cake or something, pansies are awesome to have out in your landscape for that. So pansies are the absolute toughest. The other two that I really love for early spring planting is going to be your ornamental cabbage and kale, and also sweet alyssum. Alyssum is going to come in white, purple, pink. We also grow it in pots where there's multiple colors together. Real low growing, but extremely fragrant. It's absolutely just such a wonderful fragrance. I mean, out here in the greenhouse right now, that's all I can smell. You walk out here and it just smells like alyssum. It's amazing. Cabbage and kale, you can see that in different colors, different textures, different sizes. We have big ones and small ones. But those add a really nice bulky texture, whether it's in a pot or in the ground. You could even space them out evenly along a border and they would look really cool. Some of the ornamental cabbage and kale can actually go even into the summer and perform really well. Most of them though, once it gets hot, they do what we call bolting, and they'll try to go to flower, and then they just don't look as good. So a lot of times that's just gonna be something we're gonna do early spring, and then any of our cool season annuals are also something we can think about in the fall. So come September, October, that's a great time as well to be putting cool season annuals in the ground, because a lot of those, depending on the weather, can last all the way up until Christmas or into the new year if we're not getting too cold of temperatures in November and December. And so cool season annuals are really great to use this time of year to start getting that spring feeling in the landscape. Everything's so dormant and brown and just like after a long winter, right? And so you come into the greenhouse, see all these beautiful flowers, and there are certain things like I'm talking about that can get planted right now. Now, you also don't have to overcomplicate it, right? You could just take something as simple as this right here, and you could just set this out on your porch. So maybe you're not going to plant your entire landscape with a bunch of flowers that are just going to get ripped out when you want to put in your sun patience and your begonias and your coleus, right? But these are things that maybe you just go simple and you have a nice little pot out on your patio or on your deck to where you can bring some of that spring color and excitement into your life, but not with like a ton of worry. Because if you plant an entire landscape of pansies and alyssum and cabbage, kale, and all these things, well, if we get down into the 20s, we're going to want you to cover those with a blanket, or if it's in a container, we can just bring it in for the night to protect it. So you might go, well, I don't know that I want to have all of that worry if it gets that cold. So just one simple little pot, really easy way to go, or a simple hanging basket, right? We can throw a hanging basket on a hook out on the patio. You can also, these work great to just cut the hanger off and set that into a nice ceramic pot on your patio. And so there's a lot of different ways we can start utilizing these early spring annuals into our landscape and onto our patio and onto our deck to bring some life when everything's been so kind of dull outside, and just put us back into that spring mode. Like I said, there's a lot of these things that are going to last March, April, May. Usually it's not until June sometime, maybe even July. that a lot of your cool season annuals are gonna hit a point where it's just too hot and they kind of just melt away. They either quit blooming or they kind of die completely because these are plants that really don't tolerate hot, humid temperatures. And so that's where we just got to know that going into it. But usually in May or early June, I'll start pulling some of those things out when I'm putting in my sun patience, when I'm putting in my coleus and lantana and all the lovely summer loving flowers. And then once we get to September, October, and those things are looking a little tired in the landscape, that's a great time to then pull out all those summer annuals that look tired and do your cool season annuals once again in the fall. And like I said, they can easily last up until Christmas, weather depending. So that's a little overview on cool season annuals, and I hope that helps. Hey, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That will help push it out to others. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update. Thanks for spending time with us.